Hello and welcome back. This is Madan. Today's video is about how we can put our memory cache in sync with the database when we perform insert, update, or delete operations in the database. So this is the project that we built in our previous video about memory cache. And if you don't know about that video, then you can go back and check from the playlist. So now we are going to perform CRUD operation. Here we are going to insert some new record, update the record, and delete the record. And whenever we do that operation, we also try to keep this memory cache in sync with the database. There is a problem with the memory cache that I stated in previous video also. So whenever we insert new record, the memory cache or the cache data doesn't know about that information, and we are always displaying the old information if we are displaying data directly from the cache. So we need to update our cache whenever we insert, delete, or update new record. So let's do that. And this is a home controller that we built in our previous video about memory cache. Now in the same controller, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a few action method here. Public action result new, and this is going to return a view with new employee. And I'm going to make another action method here, public I action result new, and the employee is coming from the view, so we need to take that parameter here, and we check if modal state is valid or not. If it is not valid, then we are returning view with the same employee that is coming from the user. After that, if we get a valid model, then we save that model to the database. Employee, and we do save changes. Now our data is inserted, data has been inserted into the database, and now we need to update this memory cache here with the newly added record. So to do that, first of all I'm going to fetch the data from the memory cache. So let's fetch that employee in memory cache equal to memory cache dot get, and we need to pass the key, and our key is employees. We can confirm it from here, employees, and we need to convert this as a list of employee. So this cache has all the data except this newly inserted data or the newly inserted row. Now we have already saved that row into the database. Now we need to add this newly inserted record into the cache as well. So what we're gonna do is gonna do employee cache in memory. So this is just a employee list of the employee, as you can confirm it from here, and we are going to add the new employee that we just inserted into the database. So in this way, one record has been added to the database, and the same record has been added to the memory cache, so that our cache is in sync with the all the records that are present in the database table. Now what we're gonna need is we need to remove the data from the cache and then update the cache. So what we do is memory cache dot remove, and we can pass keys here, and then now we're gonna create a new memory cache, memory cache dot set, and we need to pass employees here, and this employees is the same key that we are using. And then next thing is we need to pass the newly updated list of the record. So employee memory cache. Now we are all done, and we are returning user to the index action. Redirect to action name of index. So this is the insert part. Now I'm going to create another action method for updating the record. Action result, edit, and for that we need id. So first of all, we're gonna need to get the record that we want to update from the database. So employee equal to, we have a context dot employees dot first dot default x dot id equal to id, and then we return view with the employee data. So we are going to make another method to receive the updated data from the view. Action result, edit, and here employee is coming from the view, so employee, and then again we can do the same thing as that we did in the new action. So we can check modal state here. If it is not valid, then we return view and return the employee. So after that, we need to first update data in the database. So update, and then we pass the employee, and then we do save changes. Now our record has been inserted into the database. Now we need to update our cache. So for that, at first we are going to get the data from the cache. Now we need to find the record with the same ID from the memory cache, and that is the old record, and we need to remove that old record and put the newly updated record into the list. So old employee record equal to employee in memory cache dot first default x goes to x dot id equal to we have a id with this employee object, employee dot id. Now I'm also going to find out the index of this record. So old employee record index equal to employee in cache dot find index, and we can pass predicate here, x goes to x dot id equal to employee dot id. Now we are going to remove this old employee record from our memory cache list, employee in memory cache. So here what we can do is employee in memory cache dot remove, and it is expecting the employee object, so we can pass old employee record, and then employee in memory cache dot, now we can insert this updated record here, insert insert, and here we want to insert at the same position where the old employee record was, so we can pass the index is old employee record index, old employee record index, and we are passing this updated employee here, employee. Now we need to do the same thing that we did in our new method. We remove the old data from the memory cache and then reset the memory cache with the newly updated list. Now this is it for the edit part, and finally we need to redirect user somewhere, so let's copy this and paste it here. Now I'm going to create a delete action. Action result, delete, and we need id, so we get employee equal to id. Now we remove that record from the database, employees dot remove, and we pass the employee here, and then we do save changes. Now data has been removed from the database. Now we need to update our memory cache. So we get the data from the memory cache here, memory cache. Now we get the employee to delete from the memory cache, employee to delete, and we get the employee from this employee in memory cache whose ID matches with the ID that of the employee that we just deleted. Now our employee has been deleted from this memory cache list. So the final thing is we need to update our memory cache. So let's update, and finally we need to redirect user, return redirect to index. So this is it for the controller part, and now we are creating our view to support the insert, update and delete operation. So now let's create our views, and we're going to create a file inside the home folder, new file, new.cshtml, and the other one is edit.cshtml. And to save the time, I have already copied the code here, so we just copy the code from here because it is pretty simple and you can easily understand this. Let's copy this and paste it for the new. So we are adding a new employee, and we don't have date of birth field in our model. Now let's bring the code for the edit part. So this is for the edit part, edit, and let's paste it here. And we don't have date of birth field, so let's save this, and let's create a link from the index page. So actions, I'm going to put a call span of 2 here and create a 2 button here in the same TD. Edit and ASP route ID equal to @e.id. Edit. So this is going to call a delete. ID equal to e.id and class equal to, let's give it a danger, and then we're going to ask user a confirmation whether they want to delete the record or not. So I'm going to write a piece of JavaScript here, return confirm are you delete this record. Delete. So with this, let's test our application, and it has started up. So I'm going here and refreshing the application. So for the first time it takes some time because it has to go out to the database and load the data. And our buttons are showing up, and we don't have a link to go to the new record, so let's go to home and new, because this is a link. Let's add a new record and let's name it new record. So let's give it a value of 20 and save it. And it is so fast. It has inserted the new record and then it has loaded all the data here. So if I go over to the last, then we see here the new record with the new ID. Now let's try to edit the record. Edit here, new record, updated. Let's make it 22 and save it. It is very fast. So if I go over to the last, then it is updated and the time taken is very minimal to update and load a whole lot of informations from the database. Now let's click on delete and click on OK. So we get some error here, so let's try to fix that error. And I have made a typo here. Instead of the age, it should be ID. Let's save this. So now let's delete the record, and if I click on delete and if I click on cancel, then it doesn't delete. So click on delete and then OK, and it has successfully removed the data. And then look at this, the data loading time is very fast. So if I go over to the last, then our record is gone. So in this way we can update our memory cache when we perform CRUD operation in the database. And one thing that there is one small problem here. So if I go over to the home and create a new record, let's say new record, and let's put a value of 20 here. So we have added the new record. Now if I edit the new record, updated, then it goes to the first page. Instead we want to see the newly updated record here. So in order to fix that, we need to make a small change here. In the index section, we need to pass extra parameter here, ASP route current page equal to @viewbag dot, we have a next page information in the viewbag. We can confirm it from here. In the viewbag dot next page we have start page +1. So what we can do is viewbag dot next page -1 is the current page. So our parameter is current page. And for the delete also we can do the same thing. So let's copy and paste current page and this one. Now with this we need to accept that parameter on the edit method. So here int current page, and let's put that information in viewbag dot current page equal to current page, and then in the edit page we need to store that current page. Input type equal to hidden, and since this is not a part of the model, so id equal to current page, name equal to current page, and not being part of the model we need to give id and name property, otherwise we can give asp for, and then value is viewbag dot current page. Now when user update the record, then that extra parameter is coming here, so we can accept that parameter here, current page. And when we redirecting user to the index section, the index section requires one extra parameter, but that is by default 0, so it didn't complain about that before. Now we can pass that extra parameter here in the index. We can do new start page equal to the incoming current page, and same for the delete action. New start page equal to current page, and we need to bring that parameter here, current page, and this current page is coming from this request, this link, current page. So Let's test our application one last time, and the server is starting up. It's gonna take some time, and let's refresh. And it is taking some time to load the data for the first time. So now let's try to edit the record. Edit and new record updated. Again, let's put it to 2 and then save. Now it stays at the same page here. So if I try to delete and then OK, then the record has gone. All of the record has been loaded, and it takes only fraction of second. So in this way, by using memory cache, we can improve the performance of our application in a significant way. So this is it for today. Thanks for watching, and if you are new to this channel, then please like, share and subscribe the video or subscribe the channel. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.